These are really, really comfortable chairs. Ron, we got a budget for chairs like this? Man, I didn't realize how comfortable these chairs were. Oh, we're rolling. Hi, welcome to Western Edge Living. I'm your host, Bill Polnick. Thank you for tuning in. We feature interesting conversations with interesting people about interesting things. And today we're going to tell you about Furever Full. It's a pet food pantry, and the expert on that, I don't mean to put you on the spot, Marge, but our guest from Furever Full is Margie Rademaker. Good to see you, Margie.
Good to see you, Bill.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
You think this is a comfortable
They're
chair?
actually really good.
They
yes.
are. You were talking about how other shows have those big high stools.
Yeah, you don't want to perch.
No, we don't. We don't. So relax a minute, and we
Okay.
will visit with you about your steps that led you to Furever Full. We'll talk about this great organization and all the things that you have going on, which is quite a bit. So we've got that coming up. Meanwhile, Medora, we've got the musical is up and running. The town is abuzz. The library is under construction. A lot of things happening in the historic town of Medora, North Dakota. Come and see for yourself. And be sure to stop by the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. We are open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our gift shop is getting wonderful, wonderful reviews. In fact, we had a group of ladies that stopped in one day, and they left, and then they called just before we closed and said, "Are you still open? We've been to all the shops in Medora, but yours is one that's our favorite, and we want to come back and buy a few things." So we stayed open a little extra longer. That's what people are saying about our gift shop. Our manager, Christy Toof, has done a wonderful job in stocking the gift shop with a lot of items made right in the area, a lot of pride of North Dakota products, and much, much more. So please stop by and see us at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. And mark it on your calendar. Hopefully you're viewing this show in time to make plans for the National Day of the Cowboy, which is going to be held on July 27th. And man, we've got singer-songwriter Greg Hager, we've got cowboy poet Carson Hauser, Don Newland, and Kimberly Bachman. There are two ladies that wrote Western books, and they're going to put a skit on about these books that they wrote. And we've got those books for sale at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. Former Miss Rodeo North Dakota, Lindsay Miller, is going to be joining us. And she, along with our anthem singer, a 7th grader named Lily Johnson from Fairfield, is going to be modeling some things from the gift shop and showing you some items that are for sale. It's wonderful. Make plans for the National Day of the Cowboy at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame on July 27th. Our executive director, Rick Thompson, very instrumental in establishing it to be an official National Day of the Cowboy in North Dakota. He lobbied the government, and yeah, we're pretty proud of that. So make plans to join us for the National Day of the Cowboy at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame on July 27th. Margie Rademaker. You know, we put out when we first decided to do the show, we put out some feelers on social media that if you're a nonprofit or a group or an organization and you would like to tell us about what you have going on, you were one of the first persons to reach out to us. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. I'm happy you're spotlighting us.
We're happy to have you. And your day job, you work for our friend Rachel over at All American Travel, helping folks get to where they need to be, huh?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and how long have you been there?
I've been with Rachel for 3 years now.
3 years. You like it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's a wonderful
And we have
place.
an office cat, so
And
he helps us helps us as a fundraiser.
I was just going to say, yeah, there's a cat in there that greets you when you come into All American Travel. But you said earlier that you told me before we hit the airwaves that you're from Western Montana.
I am. I grew up in Whitefish, Montana, up by Glacier Park. Have lived all over the country, but have always been a big fan of animals and have worked at different animal organizations in the different places that I've lived at.
Okay.
And just happened to see a post the year we moved here from Dawn Cattermas, the woman who started the organization, trying to gather pet food for people in need. And Rachel was kind enough to let me do a little pet food fundraiser, having people drop off supplies at All American Travel, and I just donated them to her, and it's kind of how I met Dawn and got started in the organization.
Okay, we'll circle back to that. What are some of the other organizations you worked with in the past?
I worked with a animal rescue in Northern California called Animal Save that actually had pets at their location that you could come and adopt and stuff. So I've done more of the adoption side in other areas. So this is new. You don't really work with the animals. You're trying to keep those animals in their homes instead of working with them after they've been surrendered.
And that lit a spark inside of you. That kind of, well, you said you're an animal lover, and then getting involved on that level, and now the level that you're involved with, you're the vice president of Furever Full. Something satisfying about that, and I'm assuming that there's probably not a finish line. This is your mission statement is going to be ongoing. It's more of a way of life than it is an end result.
Right. Yeah. We really strive. There's lots of people who come on hard times. Just a week ago, some folks' house burnt down.
Oh, no.
They kept their pets, but they lost all their pet food, their cages, their pet beds. So they came to us and we got them set back up. So unexpected things like that happen to people. We also have elderly and with really limited incomes that sometimes need assistance, and we don't want to see their pets go to the shelter because they can't afford it.
Yes. You know, I can empathize with them because we live out in the country. We live on an acreage with a pond and everything, and so we have 3 golden retrievers and also a Chihuahua who's actually a wireless doorbell. And we also have 3 cats, and I know full well what, our economy, a little bit of challenging at the moment, and boy, what it costs to feed these animals anymore. And when something like that happens, you can't expect them, well, we can't have these pets anymore. No, they're family members. They're part of our life. We wouldn't dream. And you, no. Furever Full, it sounds like you help them keep their pets within the family.
Right. We give assistance up to 6 times in a year. You essentially just fill out our paperwork. There's not any income requirements because just because you had a good job a month ago doesn't mean something hasn't happened that your income has taken a hit or there's been an emergency medical expense or something that makes it more of a struggle for you to feed your pets.
Right.
And so we will do emergency assistance for 6 visits a year just by filling out that paperwork. And then we have some other folks who really need to have their pets for the emotional support and need more ongoing support. So we do some individual assessments of those people and give exceptions to that 6-month rule.
Having said that, are you governed by a board of directors?
We have a board of directors. There's 4 of us. So we take votes on ways to, different ways to spend money, funds. But realistically, we are totally volunteer based. No one draws a salary. Our building, our electricity, internet is all donated by a local businessman who wants to remain anonymous, but every year he kindly lets us use a location and supplies all those utilities for us. So all of our funds goes towards buying pet food, things like dog crates, dog beds, cat litter, the supplies you need to have a pet.
Having said all that, Marge, you talked about in your email to me about a budget of $20,000 a year. That seems possibly a little low. Is that the bare minimum that takes to? That
kind of, we need that. Is like, we do have the advantage. Sometimes we have to buy pet food locally when we need to, but we partner with a place called Minn Kota Paws in Fargo. They're part of the Greater Goods Charity Group, and they get truckloads of food and supplies donated by PetSmart, dog food and cat food manufacturers, Purina, Eukanuba, and they sell it to us at a reduced rate. So we can buy dog food sometimes for 15 or 20 cents a pound, where commercially it's $1.58 a pound. So we can stretch our money a long ways by buying from them. The only difficulty is they're in Fargo. So we rely on volunteer haulers to pick up a load of pet food in the back of their car, the back of their trunk, and bring it home for us and drop it off at our location.
Now, it's primarily food, the pet food pantry, you don't get into the veterinary side of the animals, do you?
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't have the budget to do it.
Right.
If we can help guide you towards maybe an organization that might be able to help you. We can give you. There's like a place in Bismarck that'll give you a spay and neuter certificate for like $50 towards your animal. If we had the budget to be able to spay and neuter every animal in town, we'd love to be able to do it, but it's just not something that we can afford to do. So
right. That's a whole nother
That's a whole
realm
different, So we just try and focus on keeping pets fed.
Yeah. So, yes, it's a wonderful organization. You have a location. I noticed that there's an address on your Facebook page for a location. You have a place that you call the headquarters for Furever?
Yeah, we have it's a shop building over on 5th Avenue West, just down from Hope Christian Academy.
Okay.
2798 5th Avenue West is our location. I always forget the number. And we're there the first and third Tuesday of the month. We have open hours from 4 to 6, where people can just come by and pick up the food that they need or the cat litter or such. And we're subject to what we have donated, so we don't always have the same brand or the same type. It's not like going to the grocery store.
Right.
We give you dog food, but your dog may get Purina this week and Iams next week or next time. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes for people to understand that they can't just ask for their favorite brand.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a side to being part of your organization where you just got to kind of, whoa, I mean, this thing could snowball into, like I mentioned, the vet supplies and things, and this thing could really blow up on you, for lack of better words.
We just can't. There's only about 30 of us, so takes a lot of us to do a lot of different little things. We do a lot of fundraising. There's a few people that volunteer by writing grants, whatever grants we can find, things like that.
I would think in an organization like this, you got to keep your foot on the gas, don't you?
Yeah,
always
definitely.
Forward momentum.
Yeah.
Okay. Our guest today is Margie Rademaker with Furever Full, the pet food pantry organization in Dickinson, North Dakota, and we're going to talk about if you're you need pet food and you want to apply. We're going to talk about that process. We're going to talk about their social media and some of the things that they've done. And a 501c3, as many of you know, you're always in fundraising mode.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that and more with Margie Rademaker of Furever Full here on Western Edge Living.
Being affected with hearing loss is a common problem, but it made me feel detached from those around me, particularly loved ones. Finally, I made the decision to contact Alliance Center for Hearing in Bismarck. They understand hearing loss and are very thorough in testing, diagnosis, and recommending a solution. Contact Alliance Center for Hearing to begin your journey to better hearing. Alliance Center for Hearing gave me my hearing back, which brought me closer to those who matter most in my life.
Here's your Lotus Energy drink.
Thanks so much. Can I pay my consolidated bill online?
We have an app for that.
Can I get a text on my phone when my bill is due?
We have an app for that.
Download the Consolidated My Account app today and take control of your account with useful features like viewing or paying your bill right on your phone. Never miss a payment again with the Consolidated My Account app. Available free at the App Store or Google Play.
At Ponchero's, we don't just make burritos. We build them for a full-on flavor experience when you eat it. Ponchero's. Come build your better. At Ponchero's, we mix our ingredients so that all the right stuff is in all the right places. Ponchero's. Come build your better.
Medora Boot and Western Wear in the heart of historic Medora open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Boot is their middle name, and they have over 1,500 pairs of boots in stock for all ages and sizes. They also have the all-new Higher Boot, with more expected to arrive this summer. Western clothes, belts, caps, hats, and more, including a great line of toys and Longhorn wall decor. Medora Boot and Western Wear for the cowboy and cowgirl in you.
Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Service Pro Express Lube, now open on East Villar Dickinson, gets your vehicle serviced quickly and you're back on the road in no time. No appointment required. You don't even get out of your vehicle. They utilize Service Pro oil, the only oil produced and refined in the U.S., and it meets or exceeds vehicle manufacturer requirements. Plus, they top off all fluids and perform multi-point inspections. It's part of what's offered at Service Pro Express Lube. Students looking for a part-time gig? Inquire at Service Pro Express Lube. Ask about the Scholarship Incentive Program. Service Pro Express Lube, East Villar Dickinson, next to Lucky's.
And we're back on Western Edge Living here on Consolidated. There's a lot of things you could be doing this evening, but you're watching our show. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And it's amazing how pets are such a big part of our lives. They're a big part of the economy. They're family members. It's amazing. Everybody has a story about a pet. And sometimes through the challenges of life, we come to a point where we can't afford to feed our pets, and that's where Margie Rademaker and the folks at Furever Full step in to help us out with that. So, Marge, like I mentioned earlier, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
You were on ESPN once. This is kind of a bigger deal than that, right?
It is. Definitely.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you, and it's wonderful finding out about your great organization. You're a 501c3, always in fundraising mode, and at the time that we're visiting with Marge, there's a fundraiser happening now. Hopefully you see this in time to take part in the current fundraising project, but talk about that. What are you currently doing today to raise money?
So right now we are doing a yearly raffle. Every year we get generous donations from the community and we raffle off prize baskets worth over $100 each, some up to $500 or $600 depending on the prize. And you can buy raffle tickets. Also in the fall, we will be having a coffee crawl. We had one last year. That's a fun little event where you buy a ticket and go around to participating coffee shops. They each give you a sample-sized drink, and you vote on which coffee or drink was your favorite, and all those proceeds go to the charity as well. And those are like our two of our bigger fundraisers. We're hoping to put one together, possibly a dog show, like a you look the most like your animal, this dog does the best trick, not the like this is the best breed type, but
right.
Later this summer, so you can keep an eye on our Facebook page, Furever Full, for announcements on those. We also have a couple of local places where if you want to purchase pet food and supplies, you can do so at Runnings or Tractor Supply. They kindly enough will keep them at their store and get them to us. So you don't even have to run us down to give us the supplies.
Find Furever Full on Facebook and go back and look at the pictures of everything you've talked about, everything from the food that you have available, the food you have in stock, and some of those items that people have donated. You're right, there are some wonderful items that you have in your current raffle, and always in fundraising mode, always something going on. It sounds like that the group of Furever Full, you or yourself, your president Dawn, and the rest of them, and the Facebook Live video that I saw, and you seem like you're real creative people. And when I say that, it's because you're motivated by a cause, and the cause is these pets.
Yeah, all our volunteers really like pets. We pretty much all have a pet or multiple pets, so they're near and dear to our hearts, and it makes it a lot easier to be motivated to get out there and fundraise, and we have a lot of fun doing it. What do you have? What do you and your husband have for pets? We actually have 4 cats. We've had dogs before. All of them are rescues. 2 of them are rescues off the streets. So one of them actually has FLV. So he's
what is that?
It's like kitty leukemia.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. Okay.
He can't be outside. He can't be around the other cats. He's got his own room in his own little playhouse, and
he's got a built-in diva mechanism.
He is. He's his own diva. Yep. So yeah, and Our president has a nice dog named Scout that was a rescue, and he comes and volunteers to clean up the dog kibble that we occasionally spill. So he's got a very important role in the organization.
Yeah. Okay. And having said all that, we mentioned dogs and cats, but you also other animals as well. What are some of the other animals that you acquire feed for?
So we've had requests from, helped somebody with turtle food.
What does a turtle eat?
Little pellets and flakes. It's like you buy it at the pet food store.
Okay.
We had to go get it. I'm not a turtle expert by any means. We've helped rabbits with hay and their rabbit pellets, birds, ferrets.
Okay.
Some folks have had ferrets. So if we have that food, because people donate all kinds of different stuff, if you have birds and you're like birds, we've gotten donation of bird food, domesticated bird food from people. So it just kind of, I guess it depends on what animal is closest to your heart, what type of donation you give us.
I have a feeling you might get a request for some kale for a dragon or something like that, or a reptile.
Yeah. You never know who's going to ask for what when they need help. So
does it feel good doing what you do? I'm
does.
sure there's a dark side. You see some people in a very bad place, but you try to make their lives a little bit better by helping them with their pets. This has to be fulfilling for you.
It really is, because the people who are really struggling, whether it's due to
whatever reason,
they tend to need their pets more than the happy person does. If you're having a struggle, those pets are always there for you. They're your best friend. They're happy to see you.
I've got a philosophy that our pets can help us learn how to grieve. When a youngster has a pet, and grandma, grandpa, somebody close to them passes away, they are bombarded with family members and people, and it's this very scary, sad time. Sadly, our dogs, their lifespan isn't what we'd like it to be. When a pet passes away, it shows that child how to grieve privately, on its own, and that child can process it on their own. And so pets add so much to our life, and they bring people together as we've had, I'm a dog breeder, and it brings people from all over the country together, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing to be involved with. And your Facebook page, my goodness, it's a very busy place. You've got over 1,000 likes, over 1,000 followers. There was a Facebook Live event, and just find Furever Full on Facebook. And see some of the things that you've been talking about today. And where do we need to go? What do we need to do? If you could take and write yourself a blank check on what needs to be done for Furever Full, what would you request?
We always need food donations. Food, cash, and really something that's very easy to do. If you're making a trip to Fargo and you have some extra room, please reach out to us on our Facebook page, because hauling food back to us is really beneficial. A pickup truck holds about 1,200 pounds if they fill up the back of your truck.
And you know this off the top of your head.
And I know this off the top of my head, but I also know that last month we gave away in just dog food 1,400 pounds of dog food in 1 month to help keep dogs with their families. So bringing a truckload of pet food home for us is big.
Okay, and one other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is if we're watching the show today and our finances aren't quite where we would like them to be, and we need some help for our pet. What's the process? Where do we go? How do we get that started?
So the process is you can reach out to us on Facebook through Messenger.
Okay.
Or you can just show up on the first or third Tuesday of the month at our location on 5th Avenue West. We have some really simple forms to fill out. Basically asks you your name, what kind of pets you have. We require that you don't get more pets while you're using our services. You don't use your animals to breed, so if you're you don't decide, hey, I'm going to make money off my pet and start
Right.
breeding while you're using our assistance, because we're not really here for that. We're here to help you keep your pet. But other than that, we don't have income requirements. We just ask that you show up, fill out the paperwork, sign it, and we'll send you on your way with the supplies you need.
The simplest way to donate, too, I think if you go into Runnings, you go into Tractor Supply, and you say, hey, I heard about that pet food pantry deal on the TV show Western Edge Living. They can just pick up some food, and then Runnings and Tractor Supply will take it from there?
Yep. They'll ring you up at the cash register. They have a shopping cart. I think they just take all the supplies over, fill up the shopping cart. When they get an amount, they call us and go, hey, we have some supplies for you, and we come and pick it up. And that way you don't. We also have a Chewy wish list.
Oh, really?
So if you don't,
Kind of like a bridal registry.
kind of like a bridal registry. So we do have a wish list on Chewy. If you look us up under that, I think there's also a link on our Facebook page to the wish list. But you can just click here, I'm buying dog food and cat food, and they ship it right to us, and you can check out and not even have to leave the comfort of your home.
You mentioned Chewy. What a wonderful organization that is. You know, I had a friend who ordered some food. Their pet died before the food arrived, and they had to send it back. And they told him just to keep it and donate it to an organization like yours. Not only that, but they sent this person flowers.
Oh, that's very
You
nice.
know, talk about empathy.
Yes.
My goodness.
And that does bring up something. If you have open food, or your pet passes away, or your pet doesn't like this food anymore, you can donate that. We will take open bags as long as they're not expired and they're still in good condition.
Okay, all right. Margie Rademaker, gosh, this has been fun. What is the one question I didn't ask? Is there anything that we didn't cover that you would like to share with the viewer who is interested in Furever Full Pet Pantry?
Oh my gosh, Bill, I think we covered
We
most.
covered it. We covered a lot of ground,
We
didn't
did a
we?
lot of ground, and I thank you for having me here and for highlighting Furever Full, because we can certainly use.
Yeah, and you
exposure.
tell Don and everybody involved with Furever Full that I admire you for what you've done. I'm pleasantly surprised by this interview. Not that I was not expecting anything, but it really opened my eyes to a wonderful organization. Thank you for what you do. There's a lot of people out there that are depending on you, so thank you.
You're very welcome.
And it was a comfortable chair, right?
It was great.
All right, don't take Marge's word for it. Don't take my word for it. If you would like to test drive one of these chairs and tell us about what you have going on here on Western Edge Living, get a hold of us. We're on Facebook, Western Edge Living, and we'll seat you in a comfortable chair, and we'll talk about what you have going on. It's interesting people, interesting conversations about interesting things. So make sure you join us on Facebook, Western Edge Living. And a big thank you to Medora Boot and Western Wear, Alliance Center for Hearing in Bismarck, Panchero's Mexican Restaurant in Bismarck, and Service Pro Express Lube for supporting Western Edge Living. I'm your host, Bill Polinick. Thank you for watching.